Hello friends. Wonderful evening, na? The moon shining as always, na? 4th of April 2023. So, my third video today about my life because I said 60 years on 7th of April, my birthday. So, 6 decades of learning. So, I thought I should make 7 videos. So every day one lesson from my life. Okay, so I've made 2 already. So today is 4th. I am making one more. Well, I am sitting behind. Behind me is a tranquil water fountain. You can see the wind blowing and the water is rippling, and it's very nice and lively, I should say. The flowers are bright, flowers are growing, and I think that is what life is all about. Life is all about change, life is all about learning. So today's video I am making about education. Yesterday I made about Sikhism, today I am making about education. And I will make a new one every day up to the 7th and maybe up to the 8th also. It will depend on my subjects. So minimum 7 is my aim. So education is very important in life. We learnt it from our father, who came from a very humble background of a shopkeeper in Amritsar in the late 50s. He was a small child when India was independent, right? So he would tell us the stories about the partition. And my grandfather, as a child, was sitting on the wall at the time of the Jallianwala Bagh attack. Okay, so that was my grandfather, a young child, sitting on the left corner of Jallianwala Bagh on the wall when that unfortunate, unwanted, unwarranted firing took place and hundreds were killed, innocents, on the day of Vaisakhi. So my grandfather had a small shop in Amritsar outside the Golden Temple, and my father realized that that shop is not enough to sustain his life, and he needed to move ahead. So he had done his high school, and then he applied for a job in the Indian Air Force. Oh, they did that medical test and all that, and he passed. And then he went to Chennai for 3 years, and his stipend was 54 rupees, and he would tell us that I would keep 20 rupees and I would send home 34 rupees to my father. Well, that is how he started his life, with that 24 rupees. And then after completion of his training, he was deployed in the Indian Air Force. He moved up and he was one of the instrumental people in building the first aeroplane that was assembled in India. And my father was responsible for the airframe of that aeroplane, which was the Avro. Okay, so Avro is still used for parachute jumping trainees. So I remember my father always happy, and he would show us his medals, and I opened his bag after he passed away. After many years, I think about 5 years after he passed away, I opened his bag, his trunk, and I found those 2 medals, and I posted, and I said, well, I didn't have the courage to open his trunk. Well, I was shifting home and I had to take out trunks, and I started opening it. So, well, in 1968 he retired after 15.5 years of service, and then he was destined to go overseas to Zambia, Lusaka, after his retirement, because there was a opening for people like him in the Zambian Air Force in Lusaka. And he was selected in India to join the Air Force there. Because of his retirement, he immediately joined, and the others who had not resigned had to resign and join in later. So my father was fortunate to go to Zambia, and we joined him in Zambia after a few months after our passport was ready. I was very small, 5 years old. My brother was 7 years old. So in Zambia, it was basically going to school from the Air Force very far. Around 20 miles was our school, and we would have a bus and we would go to school in the morning, come back in the evening, and study, play, and that is how life was. Then in 1979 he decided that he needed to educate us and bring us to India, because not much education proper was available in Lusaka in that period, or maybe it wasn't enough for us. The people in Zambia were getting educated, but my father decided that he should come back to India and supervise our education and stay with us. So we are always grateful that he decided. Otherwise, there were many people who decided to stay back and send their children to India, and their children got spoiled and druggies and alcoholic and whatnot. I don't want to share those bad experiences. But after seeing those bad experiences, my father decided that I cannot afford my children losing or going bad without my absence by staying in the hostel. And so he decided to come to India. How he came to India, and he was not, it was so difficult that they didn't want him to leave, because he was the chief engineering wing of the Zambian Air Force. So a lot of responsibility, and he was very hardworking. And yes, when you work hard, you get noticed, and then you are in demand. Well, we came to India. I did my college, then I did my engineering in Bombay, civil engineering in 1984. I passed out. My brother became a chartered accountant and a cost accountant. Well, education was all that he could give us. Money he had enough to survive, to buy a house and feed us and clothe us. But the biggest gift that my father gave us, and my parents, both my parents, my late parents, I bless them. I seek their forgiveness every day for what I could not do for them, or for my behavior while they were alive. Because as children, we do not realize their valuable contribution while they're alive, but it's only when they are not available that we realize what they meant by their actions, or their stern words, or maybe even a slap. Yes, that is what shaped our destiny, and we were able to study hard, both me and my brother. We were only two brothers, and my father always told us, I can only educate you, and you have to make your own career, get educated, and we will see. So gradually, I did my engineering in '84. I went to Dubai, Gulf, Baghdad for a work service. My brother was in Mumbai working for a very big public limited company as a chartered accountant. And yes, and my father was happy. He had a lorry when he came back, which was distributing milk in Bombay. And he was contented and happy with one small lorry. And yes, our house was working fine, and it is still fine with his blessings, with the blessings of both our parents. What I realized is education is power. In 1986 to 99, I suffered with ulcerative colitis after coming back from Baghdad, and I was nearly jobless. But luckily, a contractor helped me get contracts during my service, and my father and my partner, I developed a partner in my building, and both my father and my partner would execute small jobs, and they would earn more than me each. I was earning around 1200 rupees or 1300, and my father and my partner would bring home 5000 rupees a month after doing one bathroom. And then my company's project got finished, and they didn't. And because of my sickness, my boss, I can't call him a boss, I could call him a tyrant. And he told the company that he's sick, so don't give him a permanent job. So after 11 months, I was not permanent. But luckily, I had opened up a job contracting outside with my father and my partner Nasir, both working together, and I joined them. And then my father gradually started staying at home, because we would go out on a bike to supervise the work, so we didn't have a car. So then me and Nasir, we would go to work, and gradually I understood how a contractor works, and I became a full-time contractor between 87 and 99. And then in 99 I was able to overcome my illness, and whenever I was unwell, Nasir would take care of the jobs. I would take care of the billing or any type of typewriting, because we had to do the letter writing. Nowadays it's by computer. In those days it was basically by typewriting. So I would take care of all the typewriting, because we had typewriter at home. So we would draft a letter, and all day I would be sitting and typing, typing with one finger, and and making a bill or billing for the works in progress. So we were both contributing to each other. Well, slowly I started getting well in 99. After I understood alternative therapies could change my life from my ulcerative colitis, and then I started learning new subjects to help heal people. Our latest learning is about wristwatch and wall clock therapy, numerology, geopathic stress, Vastu, Sujok, acupuncture. Now, gradually, we have become authorized, licensed acupuncturist by the government of Maharashtra, registered under the Maharashtra Acupuncture Council Act, and education has played a major role in my life. And we did the same for our children, both our sons. We are very proud. One is a BTech, the elder son, and the younger son is a chartered accountant. And despite being a chartered accountant, he decided that he would like to proceed with his own business. So he gave up a very high paying job in Mumbai, and he set up a high-end kitchen. He planned a kitchen with his cousin brother, who is a qualified chef under the mentorship of Chef Sweetie Singh, who is my brother-in-law, who is his uncle, my son's uncle, and that other boy's father. So he was always traveling and conducting Punjabi food festivals. So then my son talked to his uncle and said, let us open your brand so that we can take Punjabi food to the world. So what basically mattered was both our sons qualified, as the elder one as a BTech, as a electronic engineer and telecommunication, and the younger one became a chartered accountant. Both were influenced. You see, this is our Delhi too. Okay, so you can see the guests are sitting. So this is our kitchen in Paras Trinity, which is a very famous mall and very happening mall in Sector 63. So that is Chef Sweetie Singh, and that is his brand. Okay, so that is Delhi too. Now what I'm trying to say is, I'm trying to share what is the value of knowledge. Whenever I would ask my son, why do you want to become a chartered accountant? He would say, I have always seen my uncle, my elder brother, be in demand by his company. Always on call. Whenever he's traveling, my elder brother would be traveling for some work or some holiday. The company, there would be some issue in the company, and then my brother would be invited to come back by air to resolve that issue technically or maybe accounts wise. So my son and my brother's younger son both realized, my brother's elder son is also a BTech. So he wanted to become an engineer. So my elder son also became a BTech because of his elder cousin who went for engineering. Then my younger son took up CA after looking at his uncle, and then my brother's son took up CA looking at my son because his father was a chartered accountant and a cost accountant. Now the younger son of my brother is in Canada pursuing his master's in finance. What I'm trying to share is that education is power. After I started learning alternative therapies, we were on television because of our knowledge. I'm a civil engineer, but when my newspaper articles started coming of how people would get benefit and how newspaper people started coming to know about me. They started interviewing us, magazines, and since 1999 we've lost count of how many newspaper articles and magazines have interviewed us free of cost. Only one or two have taken money. It was okay, I didn't bother because I knew that that is now the way media works, and when they are after money we cannot say anything to them, and we are only obliged to pay them because our main intention is that the word should go to the masses. Now after our articles started coming in the newspapers and after our name started spreading, then the television of Astha channel approached us for some sound bites and recording bites. We did some recordings for them and they liked our program so much that they broadcast our program for 12 years daily at midnight for 22 minutes, 12:35 a.m. for 12 years, and the program was for 22 minutes. So we had 22 episodes which were replayed one after the other with our numbers. And due to the program visibility, we were able to meet and travel across India and overseas due to our knowledge. Okay, and my knowledge did not come for free. It came at a price. And yes, I have invested, or we have invested, me and Shilpa Khedekar ji both have invested huge money that we were able to generate into our upgradation and learning new systems. Okay, so my education did not stop in 1984 when I did my civil engineering. It continued and it is still continuing. And we are always in search of new knowledge that we can pay for, learn, understand and implement. So life is all about learning, learning and learning. You may be a civil engineer like me, but I've become a holistic wellness coach. I call myself as a holistic wellness entrepreneur. Okay, now I can analyze wristwatches, business clocks, geopathic stress, Vastu, and Bach flower remedies and so many other systems which are being used by us for our clients. How is it possible? It's possible only because I was able to invest money to learn new systems. So you have to have a passion to continue to learn. Now, if you think that you've learned enough, then you're not going to be in the market because the market is ever changing in today's world. So what I'm trying to say is that despite my age of 60 years, I am still willing and I will continue to learn new systems and new modalities of alternative therapies or maybe some other system that I do not understand, so that I can improve my life or maybe impact some others. Nowadays I'm very fascinated about agriculture. So I try to read about agriculture. I try to put to practice certain things that I can on a small terrace garden in Gurugram where my brother-in-law lives. When we visit, because in Mumbai we hardly have a garden. I just have 2 pots in my balcony where I just plant some small plants which I just give out when they grow big. So what I'm trying to say is that education is power. You need education. You need to have a backing. So my younger son, he's a chartered accountant. So you see the guests are sitting outside. So this is their Delhi too. Now this is a food industry. But when I sometimes sit down with him and I discuss, when we travel in the car, both of us discuss. So I ask him, what do you feel? He says, I feel that I'm very happy here. I feel that I've made my career. I'm going to make my career bigger in this. I feel that this is what my life calling is. And I feel that I have learned more than I would have learned even if I was in a IIM. Because of the experiences that I've got and the things that I've understood and Why should I be working hard for somebody? Why don't I work smart for myself? Well, that is the way life is. My elder son, he is working for one of India's in the one of the world's topmost technology companies. He is in the film industry, so he is into basically human management. Okay, why? Because they are providing technology which is very expensive. So now he has to manage all the technology combinations, permutation and combinations that come as per the requirement and needs of the film producers and the film industry. So he is providing them solutions through his company. So he is also busy whole day. He travels a lot. He is always on his phone. And yes, he is enjoying what he is doing. He is a BTech. He is a BTech electronic engineer. But now he understands every model of a camera. He knows what a camera demand is. Here he understands when something when something goes wrong and when he has to get it repaired. So he understands what are the faults and he does the troubleshooting with his team and they happily resolve those issues. So he is enjoying what he is doing and he is regularly learning and upgrading himself. He attends seminars, he goes to exhibitions about the film industry, about the technology. He is on the internet and he is always willing to learn something new, even from his staff members and his team. Well, that is life. Life is all about education. You need to be educated and you need to upskill and find a passion. Well, if you can upskill yourself regularly and you can find a passion, I don't think anybody in the world can outbeat you. I know I'm so confident that whatever I have mastered over all these years, and we were so happy when me and Shilpa ji launched our own book. Okay, so I was attending a very expensive seminar where I paid around 4 lakh rupees by check, and they taught us that you must earn more money, and it's like how much money can you earn? There's no end to greed of money, because I've realized people are so greedy that they will have billions of dollars but they are worthless inside. Their house is in shambles, their life is in shambles, their children are like addicts, but they think that they got so much money. There's no happiness in their life. Well, I feel I'm more happier than them and I'm more blessed than them. Then they said that if you write a book, you can earn money and your generations to come can earn money. I said, really? So then I talked to my colleague and I said, let's write a book. So we wrote a book, Wellness with Acupressure and Colors. Well, what did we do different? Nothing. Well, we did one thing better. Not different, but better. And the best that we could do was, I wrote in the book that all the share from my sale, from the income from the book would go to charity. Well, I don't think any other author in the world has dared to write that in the foreword. After I did it, my colleague Shilpa also happily said, even I will not take any money from my royalty. Let it all go to charity. So whatever money comes from the sale of our book, Wellness with Acupressure and Colors, goes to charity. And we are happy. We are doing so much social work. We do free treatment. We help people. We finance them. We give them money for a business. We went to Arusha. We planted trees in a jungle. In Arusha, we went to the market. We sponsored 8 to 10 people for some small businesses. I do it very regularly. We do it very regularly together, or I do it from my side. So the idea is, knowledge is power. So please educate yourself or educate your children, and please continue to upgrade yourself, learn new skills. And yes, even in your spare time you can earn more money nowadays, because you can do it online, offline, anyhow. You can do it in multi-level marketing. I'm a part of the iTerra network, and yes, we are promoting technology. So the idea is to learn and continue to learn, because until and unless you don't keep yourself abreast with the latest technologies available, you will not be able to succeed in the present world. Nowadays you see many companies laying off people. Well, I often wonder, if they had learnt something different, they would have been already gainfully employed on their own. but now many people are defaulting on their loans, many people are defaulting on their bills, on their credit card payments. Some people are committing suicide, some people are getting divorced, and some people are not caring for their parents, and the world is going down the drain. Why? Well, it is all because of the greed for more and more and more money, but not more and more of being a human. Well, I'm very happy that wherever I have reached, it's because of my father's foresight about educating us and ensuring that we remain healthy and that we can take care of our families and educate our children and gradually let them earn through their career. Well, this was a small contribution for my 60 years of being on this planet, and I hope you like it and I hope you share it. Thank you. God bless you. Stay well. Do like, comment and share, and do connect. Thank you very much. Amarjit Singh Narula in Gurugram, Paras Trinity at Delhi 2. Signing off.